Tom Torero talking about money and my income. What money do I make? What are the sources? How much do I make? Because you cheeky bastards keep on asking me. So it's not really to do with pick up this video, but this is for people that live the kind of nomadic, pirate, black sheep, digital nomad, around the world lifestyle. So you might be interested in how people find me, because before they're going to pay for something, what are the sources? What is my funnel? Well, it's online, and the first one is YouTube. YouTube's been the king for people finding my pickup videos and then buying something off of me. The second thing, which is surprising but it's grown a lot, is iTunes. So people randomly find my podcast because they search for sex or dating or pickup or day game, and they find my iTunes, and I get a lot of traffic and I get a lot of sales from my podcast, so it's a really good thing to do. And thirdly, it's my website. Now, both of those things point to that, but sometimes people just find my website from other pickup, from other day gamers, just by googling naughty random things, not letting their mum or their partner or their boss see it, but they end up on my site. And they watch my content, they read my content, they listen to my content, and perhaps they pay me some money. This is the funnel. So what things can they buy to generate the good old Great British Pound or the Yankee Dollar? First of all, it would be live coaching. So that means me physically being with them on the street. I've done this for over 7 years in 50 countries all the way around the world, boot camps, one-on-ones, just for 1 hour or for 1 week. Live coaching, I have to be there, I have to fly around the world. So I've done a lot less of that this year. I've almost stopped doing it apart from that world tour. And I do more Skype coaching. So I still have to be there obviously with the guy, with the client, but I can do it from my laptop. He can be anywhere in the world. We just work out the time zones, bish bash bosh. So I'm still doing Skype coaching ad hoc. And the third one comes from this, and that's ad revenue from YouTube. And you might think it's a lot if you've got lots of subscribers or viewers, but it's not, and it's dwindling, as you might have heard anyway, so it's not a good one to rely on. But I'll talk about how much I make from all these things in a minute. But let's just continue with the funnel. Okay, the next thing I've got is a video product, which is Stealth Seduction. So it's not bricks and mortar, I don't need to ship anything. That's just a digital video product. So once you make it, it just sells in the background as you sleep. Guys buy it all over the world, which you shall see. Then I've got my books. I've got Street Hustle, which is a hardback textbook printed and shipped by Lulu. So again, once you write it, you don't need to think about it. You don't need to be there in your shop. You don't need to be physically packing something up. It just makes you money in the background, and I'll show you that as well. Then I've got my other books. I've got my original book, Day Game. I've got my book, Torero Travels. I've got a book called Cold Calling. Those three are all paperbacks, and they are on Amazon Kindle. So 2 different sources of income for each of those books. Plus just a Kindle book on its own called How to Flirt with Girls. And I'll show you how that operates on Kindle and also on Amazon. And recently, this year, I've done one more thing with the profits from Stealth Seduction. Actually, I bought a small, relatively cheap apartment in South America, which I rent out. I get somebody to do the maintenance and the cleaning. They get a cut, I get a cut, using Airbnb, which is like short-term rentals. So all these things, life coaching, Skype, ad revenue, bringing money, product, Stealth Seduction, Street Hustle, Day Game, Torero Travels, Cold Calling, How to Flirt, they all bring me money. And now Airbnb, property, and if I sold that property in the future for profit, that all brings me money. Right, let's get specific. All right, the nitty-gritty per month figures, so you can see what I do. I forgot to say, Facebook is a funnel, Instagram is a funnel, and Twitter used to be kind of a funnel, but they're marginal in terms of conversion. So let's just look at the big ones. First of all, live coaching per month. I've already said I've not been doing it this year. Apart from the world tour, I've got no plans to do it in the future really. So let's say zero. It's not something I rely on. Secondly, Skype coaching. I do 1 or 2 sessions a week, let's say 6 per month on average, so 600 British pounds. Yanks, you're going to have to convert some of this stuff to US dollars, all right? Okay, on to behind the scenes of my YouTube channel. Views at the top overall for videos. I've slaved away for many years making videos, and I've gotten over 3 million views. That's nuts. 18,000 subscribers, that's not many at all, but they seem to be loyal. Conversion is good. You can see the growth, and at the bottom there you can see the ad revenue. Per month it's about $110, which is about 85 British pounds. It's shrinking because advertisers don't want to be associated with quote-unquote controversial videos, especially pickup. So I'm not relying on the income, but it's nice for all the work on YouTube that I do. All right, moving on to the video program, Stealth Seduction. In the last 30 days, you can see 21 guys have bought it, which is slightly more than 1 a day. And this is no joke. That's not big numbers in terms of other companies selling stuff, but for me that makes, the one-man band, that makes $3,980 US this month, which I think is, 2,949 British pounds, which is not bloody bad for a DIY video product from me in a very niche market. And you can see there that the payments come in on Stripe. That's the last week or so. That's how you actually get the money using the combination of Kajabi, which is the platform, and Stripe, which is the payment method. So it's no joke, you can live on it. Let's move on to Street Hustle and the other printed books. So this is Street Hustle, Day Game, my first book, Torero Travels, Cold Calling, all printed and shipped by this company, Lulu. This is the last month. In British pounds, I've sold 80 copies of those books combined in print, and that's 2,388 British pounds. So again, don't let anyone tell you you can't be a self-published author in a niche market. It's bloody good, especially Street Hustle, which I keep in hardback form for a reason. I've explained that on the Street Hustle sales video. So there you go, that's the print books. Let's move on to the Kindle, Amazon Kindle. And on Kindle, I've got Day Game electronically, Torero Travels electronically, soon to come Cold Calling electronically, and a small test book called How to Flirt with Girls. And you can see Amazon pays you per country in the currency, so it's quite confusing because you have to do separate conversions apart from British pounds. But you can see at the top there $160 in a month from US sales, £73 from British sales, etc., etc. And I've converted all that, and the total for the last 30 days on Kindle, again, me doing sod all, the books have been written, I don't have to print or ship anything, is about 340 British pounds. So that is not bad. Have a look here, I break it down, this is per day. You can see 3-4 copies sold a day, sometimes none, sometimes 7 or 8. You go through busy periods, quiet periods, whatever. But it's no joke, it's pretty damn good. Let's just have a quick look at behind the scenes views of my website. This is per week of this year. Average number of visitors per week, around 5,000. Views, 28,000 per week. You can see it was high in January because I was putting out Cold Calling. It's getting high now because I'm putting out Below the Belt. It goes through drops when I take time off, when I don't publish anything. But that's a good source of people buying the books, buying the video product, etc. And a little snapshot of my iTunes, which is really a step back. This is something called Libsyn, which hosts and pumps out onto iTunes my podcasts. You can see all time, this is just the iTunes downloads, 383,000 podcasts have been downloaded, which is nuts. Again, for a DIY podcast, which is recorded on my phone or a dictaphone. There you go. Don't take these things as jokes. This is getting serious. Slight drop in the summer. Yeah, we're only halfway through August. We've just passed halfway, so the August number will increase. But you can see those leads go into the funnel, which goes to the website, which goes to Lulu, which goes to Amazon, which goes to stealth seduction, etc., etc. So you don't underestimate it. And on top of that, as I said, for Airbnb, I've only been doing it for a few months with my new South American apartment. I'm earning around 300 British pounds a month for that. So all those figures were obviously before tax. I've got an accountant, a lovely Polish guy who helps me with my tax return. But you can see for this month, if we total up all those pounds gross, it would be 6,662 before tax, which is way more than my primary school teacher monthly salary. And I get pissed off when people say, I see you traveling around the world, you must have inherited a lot of money. You must come from a rich family. You're born with a silver spoon in your mouth. No. 4 years ago, I was really struggling financially. I was in big debt. I was paying off my student loan. I had cards. When I was a teacher, it was even worse. Living month to month, paycheck to paycheck, being in debt at the end of the month. I talk about this in Day Game. And even the few years at the beginning of Day Game coaching were tough. So a lot of bloody hard work, writing, filming, recording, traveling, being on the street. It's not easy. I'm not saying any of this stuff is easy. But I'm at a position where I say, okay, I'm quite comfortable. Guys say, why don't you expand? Why don't you work harder? Why don't you buy ads? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you make it into this global empire? I say that's more than enough money for me, okay? I was happy on around 40,000 British pounds a year. Now I'm earning more than that. Hopefully that will continue. So yeah, no plans to expand. I'm not trying to brag. I'm saying you can do it too, with a lot of hustling, a lot of hard work. And I appreciate you. If you've bought a book, if you've bought Stealth Seduction, if you've bought a digital version of my book, or you've taken Skype coaching or live coaching, even if you're watching the YouTube videos with their bloody adverts, maybe I'm getting a trickle of ad revenue, or one day you'll stay in my Airbnb in South America. God bless you. But there you go. That was a cheeky look inside my monthly earnings.